put the community back into community college.
There's no one-size-fits-all education. We need to focus on getting students through, but with the skills necessary to be competent and to be successful.
I will be going on to a four-year university where I have won thousands of dollars in scholarships thanks to my excellent art education here at Cabrillo. That's partly due to me being able to repeat classes.
I'm taking a lot of computer science classes where most of the students have taken the class multiple times because there's just so much information to cover.
I would have loved to have finished my studies here on the 2-year plan. I can't become a screen printer or an artist in 2 years, so I've been here for 5.
In the summer of 2012, when community colleges were turning away hundreds of thousands of students due to budget shortfalls, the Board of Governors passed regulations that significantly limit access to education in order to focus on basic skills, transfer, and occupational students. These regulations state that students can, for the most part, only complete a class successfully one time. There's a separate rule that says students have 3 tries to complete a course successfully. We are here today to explore the impacts of these changes on the Cabrillo community, and we want to engage our community and communities throughout California in this campaign to reinstate the community in our community colleges.
I retired from my job as a technical writer in 2012 with intention to take classes in fiction writing, which I want to call my next career. In 1992, I set that dream career aside to take a certificate in technical writing. For 20 years, I did that so I could pay off my mortgage.
In my class, I teach a lab class that runs a restaurant that's open to the public. Today, I asked somebody to dice a tomato. We're approximately in our 10th week. They didn't know how to do it. I'm looking at the student and I'm going, you're not going to be able to go to the advanced class. The advanced class is leaps and bounds harder than what I teach for lunch.
I graduated from UCSC in 2008 with a degree in classical music. So since then, having graduated, I've come back to Cabrillo and I teach kids 1st grade to 6th grade dance. Education, I said, trickles down. The more I have access to and the more enrichment I get, the more my students get.
Part of the idea of supposedly streamlining our courses is to get students into the workforce sooner, which I think is admirable. There's no one-size-fits-all education. I think that's what's kind of going on here.
In the dance department, we have a lot of really wonderful students who work very hard. One of them who wanted to speak to you this evening had to go to work at her restaurant job. This is her 5th semester. It's taking her a long time to get through Cabrillo because she's a double major. She needs to continue another whole year, next year, in order to be able to transfer to UC Berkeley or San Francisco State University. She needs to be able to audition at a very high level in order to be able to get into the programs she's looking for, but she cannot take modern dance, ballet, or hip-hop next year.
In the meantime, voters passed Prop 30. In the current budget, we have significantly more funding for community colleges and for our local Cabrillo than we actually have access to. We at Cabrillo and our colleagues up and down the state believe that these regulations must be significantly modified in order to provide access to quality programs for transfer students and occupational students, as well as access for lifelong learners, high school students, and others who may want to take a class and repeat it.
We transfer students out of the art department into different schools all the time, and they're all competitive, and they all require a portfolio. And so our students really put a lot of effort in developing these portfolios, and it's usually more than a 2-year effort.
I've taken 4 semesters of screen printing, and I haven't even begun to experiment with all the different techniques you can use it for. I've taken the class 4 times, not because it's an easy grade, or I just like to waste my time, and I take the class because I am learning the skill I decided that would benefit my future.
I came to Cabrillo during an open house, and I saw a display of work produced by the Small Metal Arts Department. After a very full life, I was still eager to learn. When I looked at that display, I said, I want to learn how to do that. Well, I have learned how to do that, and much more. And now I want to become proficient in those techniques. The non-repeatability clause prohibits me and a whole host of other lifelong learners from pursuing our passions. It also means that the community colleges are losing an enormous and valuable resource.
I have a degree from the University of California, Santa Cruz that I earned back in the 70s. I later got married and have 2 children who are in high school and have plans to go to college. But during the Great Recession of the early 2000s, my husband and I lost their college funds. Because of the opportunity to repeat courses, I was able to gain the necessary skills and to help pay for my son, who will be starting college in the fall.
And I also wanted to shed a little light on some ripple effects of this law that have affected international students. These students are severely limited in how much they can work off campus, because the only way that they can work off campus or have an internship is to enroll in a course that gives them credit called CWE 99. With repeatability, they're no longer able to do that for more than 1 semester. And so they're quite disadvantaged if they're only able to get 1 internship during their academic program here while other students can do much more than that. It's an unfair situation.
I decided to take a leave from my job and to came here because I wanted to pursue my dream for working as engineer in a mountain biking industry. And thus came to Santa Cruz. It's like the Silicon Valley of mountain bicycles. So it's already difficult as an international student support the high tuition fee. In addition, we don't qualify for many scholarships. So the CV classes is the only opportunity that allow international students to gain experience in their field and to make some money.
Given that these regulations negatively impact student success, funding has stabilized and enrollment is down in most campuses across the state, we urge the Board of Governors and the Academic Senate of community colleges and our legislators to support significant changes to these regulations. We invite you to join us in this effort and sign our online petition, engage with your community groups, invite one of us to come speak to your organization so we can promote keeping the community in our colleges.
Repeating classes allow for true growth in the medium. Practice takes time. Repeatability gives you that.
The restrictive policy cheats students of becoming proficient in their craft and eventually earning a living, especially in the arts. The change in policy in 2012 flies in the face of what the mandate of a state-supported community college education is, and as stated on their own website. Repeatability restrictions say to students like me, hey old man, you're ready for the dustbin.